Okay, what do you say when you catch a fish?
What a catch!
Ahoy! You know a lot of stuff about these fish.
Because you gotta be on focus all the time. You gotta be making a good team with your guide. I mean, you gotta be
You and I are a
focused.
good team out there.
We did very well.
I was laughing earlier today because suddenly, I don't know how, I end up on the poling platform with the fly rod, and you're poling from the bow of the boat. And we switched around. At one point, we were both on the bow, casting in tandem.
After a great session on the water, Noel and I seek shade from the Argentinian sun. Fishing in the Ibera marshlands for golden dorado outside Corrientes is about the whole experience. This is the land where the tango was born, and after staying up late singing and dancing at the asado, a siesta is not only welcome, but is necessary. This is what I've read about the lore associated with the siesta.
The attraction felt by a pambero, which is an imaginary spirit, as you know, for the women he wishes to seduce at siesta time, almost always with success, is well known. You know about it, I'm just learning about it.
Yeah.
Along the riverbank, the parenthood of many children whose fathers are unknown is attributed to the activities of this ghost. The pambero lives in the woods. He defends the forest and the birds from predators, and he prowls the forest encampments. He appears among the trees, always preceded by a whistle. If you whistle, he answers. Some picture him as tall and thin, with an enormous hat and a cane in his hand. Others see him as a dwarf, but all agree you must never call him Pambero, P-O-M-B-E-R-O, but rather Chewy, as being called by the first name drives him into a frenzy. And this is the legend of Pambero. So that's what I've heard, the reason for all the children along the river. It's the siesta. You wanna go fishing? All right, me too. So what do we have going on here? You've got a floating line with a sinking tip.
With a sinking clear tip. I mean, it's an intermediate. It's not really, it barely sinks.
And let me see that, I know you've got some bite tippet on there. Little metal. Yeah. And you're gonna go with the green fly? Even though purple and black we know was pretty good. Are you confident with this fly?
I'm confident in that fly.
Okay.
In particular because I want a fly that sinks a little fast. Since we are not seeing activity on surface, without the sponge head and with these lead eyes, it will sink faster, and maybe you get 1 or 2 feet more, and sometimes that makes a difference, especially when they're not showing themselves on the surface.
And it looks just like a bait fish.
Yeah, especially under the water.
Wow. Well, I know that we've got a rod here with a floating line and sinking tip, but you've got a clear sinking.
It's a clear tip, it's an intermediate, shorter than average.
I see a big riff coming down the middle here.
Yes, and but the most important thing is those 2 little junctions, this one and that one. Those goes into these little side waters that are usually the type of water that the minnows prefer. And this, for example, is a typical side water that this river has in many, many other places all the way down. The connection between these side waters and the mainstream are usually classic spots for catching dorados.
But this isn't classic water for dorado. This is clear sight casting water. You can spot them on this sandy bottom.
Well,
What's up with that?
well, no, yeah, sometimes, not always. You know, they're shy. You gotta have the right light conditions for that. And so when you have to guess, if you don't see them, you better, before trying to see them, cast to that kind of spots where which are the kind of places they prefer when they are in the mood to eat. All these currents here by the side waters. This little junction, this confluence here, for example, and the next one 100 meters downstream, so we're going to try there.
And is there any kind of a tide happening at all with the moon, or with, you know, what's happening with the flow? Because I know that these beds of grasses are moving. It's like they're floating on top of the water. So they're moving. What's causing the movement? Is it the rain?
Some of the structure up there at the marsh is almost floatant. It's barely connected to the main ground. And some of that might break and with the current move somewhere else and probably get stuck somewhere else. And so you cannot go through a canal that you have probably used the day before. But I would say that most of it is almost stable. This is already we are near the headwaters of the river. This is the river already, Corriente.
Oh no, this is very bad. He's gonna go for it. He's gonna gun it.
I'm not sure. I'm seeing.
We might get stuck.
Huh?
We might get stuck. All right, well, tight lines to you.
All right.
You'll probably hook up on a fish before I even get my reel on my rod. Nice. Whoa, talking about threading the needle. Oh, your line is so lit up. It's beautiful, the way the sun is hitting it.
I'm finally rigged up, and the run looks amazing, but Noel is reluctant to share the water.
Nice.
Perhaps Noel needs a gentle reminder that it's my turn to fish.
Yeah. See, what I'm gonna do is he's gonna chase your fly, and I'm gonna lay my fly down.
I'm being the teaser?
Yeah, and I'm gonna smoke him.
Good line control is a must with two people casting from the bow of an 18-foot-long boat. Everything is in motion, including the boat. It's an exhilarating feeling to get your fly into position into the hot spot before you miss the window. It's like dancing a tango to cover the water with two flies at the same time. It's beautiful to watch, provided you don't get tangled up.
Would you like to cast my rod?
Yes, I will.
I know you want to change the fly, so I'll let you do both.
All right.
Because apparently this fly isn't working.
Well, top
But-
water fly right now.
You break it, you bought it, dude. I've seen how you retrieve flies out of the trees.
All right.
There you go. No, why do people keep confusing the Dorado with being part of the salmonoid family?
Well, that's something from the past. I think a popular conception of that started on a book that was wrote by Ernest Schubert of fish related to trout family. But that was back in the 60s, I think. I mean, I know it's not. Maybe the fact that the Dorados have a very distinguished adipose fin and things like that, but it actually doesn't belong to that family. Probably it looks a little bit like it. In certain situations, their behavior and the way they look, you can be tempted to relate them to that, but
To being a salmonid.
yeah, but truly it's not. And they
What family do they belong to then?
Caracinidos.
Wow.
Caracinidos. They only exist here in this basin. There are no Dorado exists outside this basin. I mean, not this species of Dorado, which is the Salminus maxillosus.
What are some names of some different places that you fish for big Dorado?
Well, they exist basically in all sorts of waters that belong to this system called the Cuenca del Plata. El Río de la Plata is the big river in front of Buenos Aires.
Yes.
You know, well, all these waters eventually ends up there. These are all tributaries of that big system. So in many different places, you can find Dorados. Mm-hmm.
And when you find them, what are they eating?
Well, they mostly eat minnows. They would eat, if they're in the mood, they would eat a little bird that falls on the water,
Really?
or a rat, or
Oh my
a
gosh.
little snake.
Oh, it's a nice one. Film. This one's for Noel! Yay! Ah, chunky fish!
Take a look, it's almost holographic. Look.
Will they
But
eat
their
bugs?
main diet are different sorts of minnows. So imitations are not as important as in, for example, trout fishing, which is
Okay.
very, very important with this fish.
So they like the
It's the
strike, they like the
presentation.
chase. They like to see it land and they're going to attack it.
Well, that's in certain kinds of waters, they like that. Sometimes in the same day you go to a different kind of water and they will prefer a dead drift. And even if you make a minimum drag, they wouldn't take. And probably that same fish an hour later is attacking a school of sabalos against to a sandbar. So they constantly changing. And that's
So you
actually
have to
part of their
constantly
charm.
change. And
Yeah.
talking about changing, I saw you were fishing with a purple and black fly, and now you've got on a gold, but they're all like saltwater patterns with almost circle hooks.
We even caught very good dorados on dragonflies imitations around here.
So they will take flies.
They will take a
and
dry
bass
fly.
poppers.
A
because
popper,
they'll
yeah,
go
for
after
sure. No, we caught many
frogs?
dorados on poppers every
Cool.
season. But it's not their main pattern. You will go and prospect or look for them on an average situation. Minnows imitations are the standard. But what I'm trying to say is that it's not the only thing. I mean, you can do
What's your favorite fish to fish for?
a dorado, sure. Yeah.
You gonna catch a fish?
I will.
Okay, give him hell.
What?
Give him hell.
What is hell?
Rip some lips. Hell is the opposite of heaven.
Ah, all right. Gotcha. Hell. All right.
So you're gonna cast through these tall reeds here? What are you gonna do if you catch a fish? How are you gonna get it?
Well, we'll see later. First, I'm gonna try to get into one, and then we'll figure out.
Then we'll worry about what to do.
Yeah, step by step.
This is advanced casting for sure. Managing 70 feet of fly line in a tight space is a skill that only comes with practice and time on the water. Learning to release your fly from a snag goes hand in hand with being brave enough to cast into a landmine. The tall grasses are always moving with the wind, and they reach up 12 feet in height, making a climbing backcast loop a must. But once you figure out the trajectory, you're sure to be rewarded with a golden dorado that will give you bragging rights back home. Salmonus maxillosus, or golden dorado. It's the national fish of Argentina. Salmonus, meaning like a salmon. Maxillosos, describing the fish's immensely powerful jaws. They are piscivorous and feed primarily on a mullet-like fish called sabalo. Insects, crustaceans, and some grasses complete its diet. Dorado means golden, so the golden dorado is the golden, a salmon-like fish that the natives aptly call the river tiger because of its holographic markings and hunting prowess.
So you guys call these fish the tiger of the river because of their teeth and the way that they have a strong jaw and they attack.
Yeah, but that even goes before that. I mean, even the natives of these areas in South America, the Guaraníes, they related the dorado to our tiger, which is the jaguar.
Oh, yeah.
For them, the jaguar was some kind of a god of the solid ground, and dorado will be kind of the same on the water. So they already had that connection between the tiger and dorado.
I can see that connection.
Yeah, especially if you see them on their aggressive mood and the way they behave. Yeah, it's quite easy to find a connection.
Well, let's go get some.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just wondering why you love golden dorado so much.
Well, first of all, it's a very particular thing from a very small part of the world. I mean, you don't find them anywhere else. It's just in a few countries here in South America and only belongs to this basin. So that makes it very unique. Besides, I think they're very pretty and their behavior. I mean, it's a very cool fish to guide for because you're always feeling that you're very far from understanding them. That's what keeps me coming back to these guys, you know. You go every day and you find them in different moods, even the same day. They might be in very different moods. They keep you all the time thinking.
When do they spawn?
Normally they will spawn between November and January, depending on the water conditions.
What I find very interesting about this species is that they spawn on the surface, unlike a salmon that uses its tail to dig a red. The Dorado wait for the perfect time when the water is high. They synchronize their spawn to coincide with that of the sabalo. The female Dorado, which are usually the larger fish, release their eggs as they surface, and then the circling males fertilize the eggs.
Can I cast into this little outlet?
Yeah, go ahead, and then we move.
You got her, boss. I just have to catch a fish for you here. Short, long. Yahoo! Dorado! Whoa! Okay, that's nice, Noel. You said by the vegetation there's a hole there. Cast 11 o'clock. Strip, strip, strip.
There weren't just one. It was a little group.
Because of his teeth, I'm still going to use these. There we go. Nice. Dorado are beautiful.
Not only are the Dorado a beautiful looking fish, but I love how they hammer a fly, tear out line, and then sit quietly long enough to take a picture. This is what makes them an exceptional sports fish, not to mention the beautiful places they live, like the Ibera marshlands. So much water to fish, but I've run out of time. I won't stay away long.
That's up to us.